Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Retrograde episode 67. My name is Jack Marshall. I'm joined today by Anthony Hobday.
Hello.
And Lizanne Fisher.
Hi.
Yep, so sadly James can't join us today because he's at his girlfriend's birthday. And
Well, no, it is his girlfriend's birthday today, and he is with her because he's a good boyfriend.
Yeah, he's got to be there to watch
It's his
her
girlfriend's
open that.
birthday, but he's not at it. It's for a different reason.
He's got to be there to watch her open that ironing board cover that you bought her. He's got to see the look on her face. But yeah,
Do you think this is why James doesn't like Christmas? Because he has to buy Charlotte Christmas presents and then a week
Straight
later
after.
birthday presents, so it's really expensive.
yeah, probably that's the excuse.
Whenever I hear someone's got a birthday near Christmas, I feel bad for them. I always sort of...
Well, you're
Jesus.
quite close. You're only a month away.
A month, I think, is a decent amount of time, but if someone's like the 1st of January, I always sort of just like, well, that must have sucked when you were young. And they're like, yeah, it did.
Neil's best friend at work, his birthday is on New Year's Eve. So every year he has a massive party because it's his birthday, and everyone is always up for a party on New Year's Eve. So he actually normally has a really good time.
My birthday's on
Good point,
Gay Pride weekend, so it was for a big parade for my birthday, which is nice.
Terrible place to meet women, though.
I should apologise straight off the bat for any coughing or spluttering in this episode because I have a horrific cold. Not horrific, it's bad. It's a man cold. It's a marine cold. It's
I don't
bad
mean
enough.
to humanise one of the hosts of Retrograde, but when you answered the door, I thought you just hadn't prepared whatsoever because you were wrapped up in every piece
Well,
of
this
cloth.
is it. He's wearing a hat indoors, listeners, as well as a massive dressing gown and everything.
I love this
You should
dressing
have said
gown.
I'd have brought you some supplies to keep you going.
Well, I was telling Anthony before the show, my friend gave me an orange, and I honestly cannot remember the last time I ate an orange.
That's why you're ill, mate.
Honestly, I was saying to him, I reckon it's been more than 10 years since I've eaten an orange. I didn't know how to peel it. I just clawed at it like Hannibal Lecter. And I think that might be a bad sign. Same with apples. I haven't eaten an apple in, like, I don't know when.
When was the last time you ate fruit?
Banana is the only thing I eat.
All right, okay. That doesn't have enough vitamin C in it
I
to
know,
ward
I
off the
realised.
evils.
Well, I ate halfway
Have a
through
glass
the
of orange juice. Orange juice has loads of vitamin C.
I do drink orange juice, but I was eating half the orange and I was gagging. I was like, because my body didn't know what was going on.
No, he
I
doesn't
can't
even mean-
eat fruit either. My body is now fruit resistant.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Jack doesn't even mean that banana's the only thing he eats out of fruit. Banana's the only thing he eats. Jack's
Like
a
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, he's Donkey Kong.
It's terrible. When I walk into like a supermarket, I just walk straight through all the fruit and veg section. Might as well not be there.
I get some veg. You
Pick
gotta
up
have
20
some
bananas.
You gotta have some potatoes.
I do. I just get bananas. Bananas are perfect for the fruit. Come with a skin, comedy value as well.
Well, no, if you eat too many, you OD and die. Too much potassium.
Potassium, yeah, like dolphins.
Although I've read that the amount of bananas you have to eat to be affected by potassium is, I think it's in the thousands.
Oh, I was hoping we were really going to freak out Jack then.
No.
Four bananas.
Four
Wait, you haven't
bananas
eaten-
today.
That's a proven medical fact.
Jack, don't eat any more than those 3.5 bananas you've already eaten. Don't put that half a banana in your mouth, Jack.
Leave it in the fridge, put like a do not touch sign on it. Then I wake up in the morning like, oh, what am I going to eat? Die.
You probably would, because bananas go rotten in the fridge, so that...
Do they?
Yeah,
I eat the rotten
they
bit.
go bad in the fridge.
That's like the manliest thing I do is I'll eat the rotten bit on a banana. The black bit, I'm like, yeah, I'll have that.
The bruise.
Yeah.
Oh, you are manly.
That is manly, I know.
Maybe that's why you're ill.
But yeah, so that's been a bit rubbish because obviously it was New Year's. So New Year's night, I was just lying in bed, rocking back and forth, trying to get to sleep, which is the same as last year, but I wasn't ill last year. I was just doing that for fun. But,
Didn't you come to mine and Neil's party last year?
No, I went to a pub called The Cow last
Oh,
year.
right, yeah.
No, I didn't come to a party last year. I'm hosting an event in a couple of weeks, which I hope you're both excited about. Hopefully I'll be better as well.
I'm thinking about
It's-
what film scenes to...
It's called Movie Scene Night. We should be talking about Christmas and New Year's, shouldn't we? What the hell? Movie Scene Night, where I've asked people who are going to tend to give me a scene from a film, and we're going to watch them all back to back and guess who chose that scene.
Oh,
you
so we
guys-
don't know, we're not meant to tell people.
Not really, no. I mean,
Okay, cool.
I'm only going to tell people who've said, oh, so-and-so's already picked that. So if you guys had any ideas, anything you kind of think? Is it violent?
I've got a few.
I've had a lot of suggestions already from people, and some of them are very interesting.
I think
Quite a few spoilers.
the problem is I
Or
have
like
to pick
End of
something.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Just to show the endings of great films have got twists. Just the ending of Citizen Kane.
I think the problem is that I have to pick a scene that it wouldn't be obvious that I chose, because a lot of the films I might chose.
Well, no, that's not the game. It's not a shame if people work out. The game is not, yes, no one picked it, otherwise you just pick some random French film.
Well, no, I know it has to be a great scene, but I mean, a lot of the films
Well, everyone's definition of great is...
Yeah, a lot of the scenes I think are great probably won't be thought should be great by
Like,
anyone else.
some of my shortlists, and if listeners, if you have any suggestions, feel free to tweet us at Retrograde Show with some film suggestions we could do. But some of my shortlists, I was going to do the bit in Aliens where they all start jumping out of walls. Just that sequence where they all first start diving out, and then Ripley drives in with the big APC and whatever. That'd be a good scene. Indiana Jones, the whole basically the start.
I thought you were about to say the whole film.
The whole film. The bit in E.T. when he gets drunk. Good scene. Always gets a laugh out of me.
See, you're just spoiling this now. Now we're going to watch it on the
You should
day.
do the
No. I've not said the one I'm going to pick. The one I'm going to pick is going to get
Are we
standing
only allowed
ovation.
one?
No, we can do a couple. Depends on the length. Someone sent me one that was only 12 seconds long, and I was like, okay, send me something else.
My guess is that your scene will be the one from Hot Shots Part 2 where it goes green, green, green.
That is one of my favourite scenes. What have you guys been up to? Obviously, New Year's and Christmas. Did we all have a good one?
Yeah, it was lovely.
Any gaming-related gifts? That are quite
I got
cool?
Loads, which was great. I got a Pikachu carry case for my 3DS XL, which was cool. What else did I get? I got loads of video games. The reason I was late today was because I just completed Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, and then discovered that it then unlocks a load of new levels from Super Mario World 3D World. Super Mario 3D World. Anyway,
that's
and so I was really excited, and I was there like, I really want to play. I've got to do podcasts.
But I've got to go be social.
Exactly.
I don't know what the Toad's
Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker.
super duper tracker is.
It's amazing.
You know-
So basically, you play as Toad, who's the treasure hunting Toad, not Toad as in Peach's Toad.
Like he's a toad.
This is a different Toad. He's a mushroom, but he's Captain Toad.
He's not a
treasure
toad
hunter.
that finds treasure.
Yeah, he is.
No, but he's not a toad like a frog toad. He's a Mario
He's a
toad.
mushroom. Yeah, Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
God, it's taken a lot longer than it should have.
I know. And then basically you get each level is an island where Toad has to wander his way through without dying and stuff, and he has to get the power gems, which then leads him to the star at the end of the level. And
Is
it's
this like a-
it's like a little puzzle game.
Is this a mini game or is this on the 3DS?
It was a mini game on
Super Mario 3D
World.
World.
The levels were in there as mini games, and everyone raved about them, loved the concept so much they've turned it into a fully fledged game.
On the 3DS or the Wii?
On the Wii U.
Oh.
It's also been a little bit on the cheap side. They're selling it for like 25-30 quid, which for a launch, like new game, is a little
it
bit...
wasn't that cheap before Christmas.
Oh, right. Oh,
We're
maybe
not-
that's just because I've seen it after
I've
Christmas.
kept quiet about that in the house, so now Neil's
dear.
just listened to this and found out
Oh, dear. Oh.
that it wasn't anywhere near as much as we paid for it. But yeah. Also, in the sales, managed to pick up Pokemon Soul Silver with a Poke Walker
Oh.
for 35 quid, and those. Well, I saw it and I was like, that's pretty rare that they come together.
Just-
checked on eBay, they were all about 50 quid. I
tight
was
to-
like, right, having that. So I've got that to play as well.
Just like tied to a homing pigeon or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Little life hack for you out there if anyone's got
I
Pokemon.
don't-
With that, and I do a lot of running, so I was just gonna.
Just keep lobbing
Pip it
it back
on
and
as I-
forth
as
in
I
your
run.
garden.
I don't think pedometers work on homing pigeons. It works on the movement of human beings specifically.
I don't mean the pigeon's flying. I mean he's going for a run. When your pigeon's going for a run, tied to him. I got Disney Infinity 2.0,
Woo.
which I've been playing.
What is the game? I know the figures, but what is the game?
The game's actually a bit crap, to be honest.
I'm not surprised.
Like you put the figure on, and then you just do very like. There's no real story, and it's very just monotonous. Like here's another wave of enemies, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go through these enemies.
Is it a beat 'em
Here's
up
another wave
then?
of enemies. Yeah, it's like a third-person adventure game that you walk around like platforming and stuff, but it's not that well polished, and it's a little bit dull. And then you get these power discs, which I thought just gave you a power up something. It turns out those are actual levels. They're like DLC levels, so you have to
Oh,
buy
right.
those, and it's a bit like. So I'm not. I like it. I think it's really novelty. I can see why kids would go nuts for it, but I'm not sold on it.
So what? And each new character unlocks different levels.
Well, some of the characters come with their own levels. Like I got Stitch,
Right.
and he came with a game that's like a tower defense game that was like 15 levels, which is way drawn out. But I guess otherwise you've got nothing else to play. And you can build your own levels. You can download other people's levels, but it's all very kind of like Minecraft style building levels. So none of them really feel that polished. They're all
Right.
just like bitty. And it's like, I just wanted a really good story mode, and there isn't one.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a shame. But yeah.
I guess it'd be hard to create a story that would tie all those characters together.
I don't know.
In a way that it'd impress.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit managed it.
Well, yeah,
so
that's
maybe
true.
they can as well. What did you do over Christmas, Auntie? Anything interesting?
I was in Brighton, which would have been normal, but obviously I live in London now. So I was with family, extended family, and it was quiet compared to previous years, but still quite busy overall, because I think there was 10, 12 people in the house.
That's good.
And we had goose.
Oh,
for Christmas dinner.
interesting.
Nice.
And turkey, obviously, but the goose was the star of the show, I think. That was the interesting one.
Yeah, we had roast beef at Neil's. That was nice.
Roast beef.
Yeah.
See, you gotta splash out and go off the beaten path. Turkey's a bit played out, I think. Turkey should watch out. The
Plus,
goose
it's
is
so
coming.
big. I always feel a little
everyone
bit
gets bored
guilty.
of turkey. The next day's always turkey curry, and it's just like, ugh.
It's so gluttonous, isn't it? Really, it's such a big bird. It's
If
like,
you eat the
this
whole
is-
thing, yeah, it is.
No, but I think like we ate like half of ours. It was like that's ridiculous.
You're better off just getting a chicken.
Just finished
Yeah.
eating half a turkey. You're like, that was ridiculous.
That
like you're mad at the turkey for you eating half.
Well, I don't know. I don't normally care when it's like a chicken or a thing. Like I always feel bad when I go to Nando's and get half a chicken. I'm like, I'm eating half an animal here. This is ridiculous.
They're not that big though.
Yeah, but it's half an animal.
Yeah, those are
It's
only
alright.
baby chickens, Jack. You're only eating half a baby chicken, so you can feel okay about it.
No, baby chickens are called poussin. You can
Yeah.
get them. They're about.
Not very
They're
flattering,
like
eh?
that big.
I remember seeing.
Can't see listeners. I just did the size of a Whopper from Burger King.
They're all like, "Oh, Whopper." Yes, I
Why
got
is
a
that
Whopper.
your...
Your go-to
Yeah, that's
measurement?
What are you on about? Oh, okay, don't worry. You know the big. You know
The funny
Big
thing
Mac-
is, if
you know,
you said-
economists use the Big Mac as a marker for how different economies are doing.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's a regulated item that is available in nearly every single country in the world.
But why are you using the Whopper as a size?
it's
Because
bigger.
everyone knows how big a Whopper is.
Because it is
Ain't
bigger than a
necessary.
Big Mac.
Yeah, they do.
If she'd have said a Big Mac, I would have gone, "Oh, I think it's a little bit bigger than that. I think you're looking at a quarter pounder there with cheese."
Yeah.
Everyone knows how big a Whopper is.
Yeah, they do.
It's not...
I watched Maze Runner last night.
Oh yeah, is that any good?
Not really.
I
It was
even
all
saw
right.
the-
Just a lot of guys running through mazes.
Oh, speaking of underwhelming movies.
Another teenage, like divergent teenagers trapped in a
Oh, I
wasteland.
love that stuff.
I don't know what's happening with teenagers. I'm worried about them. If you're
They
out
always
there,
get
you know,
trapped.
Revolution.
go and hug someone or something because they're all terrified of getting trapped in things and having to escape. It must be the pressures of being a teenager.
Well, yeah, they want to escape, don't they? Escape their lives where they're trapped in the monotony of parents and school and teachers.
Take the advice from someone who knows you can't escape.
Exactly.
Go get a 9-to-5 job and submit to life.
Speaking of being suppressed, we watched The Interview.
Oh dear.
That was appalling. It should have stayed banned. It was terrible. Someone's
Yeah.
told James Franco that he's funny, and he's not. He's a good actor when he's doing proper serious stuff, and he's a very handsome chap.
very
But he
clever
is
as
not
well,
funny.
apparently.
He is not a funny person. He
Yeah.
thinks he's hilarious, and he really isn't. And
It could be that-
it just really annoyed me.
We just lost a listener.
It could
What,
be...
James Franco?
At Jay Franco,
Soz
just
James Franco.
unsubscribed.
It could be there's a subset of the population who does think he's funny.
They're very small.
Apparently, he was very good in Spring Breakers or something. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
He was-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
He played a
Sick.
very interesting character.
He was like a
in
drug
Spring
dealer, wasn't he?
Breakers.
Was he funny in it, or was he serious?
I mean, it was a funny film in parts, but it's quite a serious film as well. It's kind of funny just because of how ridiculously over the top and weird it is. But
Yeah.
you should watch it. It's an interesting... Maybe I'll choose my scene from that.
I've been pile driving through while I've been ill in bed watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Why
driving.
pile driving?
Pile driving in my bed watching
Crazy.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's been brilliant. Just laying on my side. It's not the cleverest comedy, but I'm
I still
enjoying
can't
it.
decide on Brooklyn 911 as to whether or not I like it. I've watched the whole of the first series. I can't decide if I like it or not.
Anthony, you're quite wisdomous on comedies.
Wisdomous.
Yep, that's the word I'm going with.
He's
Stick with it.
ill. We can't correct him. He's ill. His brain isn't working.
You rocking it? You waiting for Rick and Morty like I am?
When is that coming out?
Don't know. Probably soon. Probably
Oh.
next week or two.
Yes, I am.
Is there a new season of Community? Comedy Central? They doing that?
No,
Comedy
Yahoo
Central,
bought it.
It's on Yahoo.
It's on Yahoo. Brought it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't know when it'll be out yet.
Yahoo
Rumours
bought
are
Community.
rumours are end of February, beginning of March.
Ooh.
Parks and Rec starts on the 13th. That's
Last.
the very, very last ever season of Parks
They
and Rec.
needed to kill that off a little bit sooner, in my opinion.
I thought they already
Oh,
did
no,
because the
it's
last
so
season,
good.
the last season had 10 years ahead scene right at the end.
Well, no, it had a 2 years ahead right at the end. It was 2017.
Right, so are they setting
Well,
this
no,
after that?
No. What I think is going to happen is because they left it on a cliffhanger about what was going to be happening. So I think they're going to do this season is going to be a fill in the gaps, build up to that 2017 moment.
As long as John Hamm's in it.
No, he's not. That's the joke.
Those mu-
he was in that one episode.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was the joke because that he got fired.
He was in 30 Rock as well, I think.
Yeah, he was as Liz Lemon's boyfriend.
I
And he
just
was
want-
in Black Mirror.
I just want John Hamm to be in more things.
But
He
lots
is
of people have
amazing.
been saying very good things about Black Mirror. I watched Charlie Brooker's Year in Review 2014,
his
which I thought
wife.
was really good.
Yeah.
Screen Wipe of the Year, which is very good. If you've got any American listeners, try find it on like YouTube, because Charlie Brooker's Year in Review 2014 is always hilarious.
It's out on the bay.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely love it. We should roll into, unless you guys got anything else you want to share? Christmas period, New Year's, anything exciting?
I got lots of cuddles with my little baby niece.
Aww.
So little Zoe, she's absolutely beautiful. She's
Aw.
lovely. She's really cute. Neil managed to get her to sleep after I woke her up as well, so that was nice.
I got my nephew Hungry Hungry Hippos, which I learned is the noisiest game you could ever play. And
Brilliant.
and I didn't realise it's not even like, I don't know what happened to board games and like toys, but they've become really like like flimsy.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's
they're
because
not-
they want
they're
you to
not-
buy another one.
But they're not like, I got it out thinking it's going to be a solid, good old Hungry Hippos game. It was like plastic, it rocked, it was rubbish. I was like, I remember Hungry Hippos being like, you put that down, it was like, right,
It's all cost saving, isn't it?
yeah, made of wood, my first Hungry Hippo set.
And they want you to buy more. They want it to break so that
Yeah.
you'll have to buy more.
I played
Best thing to do is go on to if you go onto eBay and
Yeah.
find the 1983 version
made of like,
of Hungry Hippos. It comes with actual hippos. They've gone really downhill with how the quality of it.
I want an ivory set. You can't have Hungry Hippos without ivory.
The marbles are lead.
Yeah.
So
They've gone plastic with it for some reason. Back when it was real hippos, that's when the real game was.
Glass.
Played.
That's what I want. Let's go into the competition.
Yeah.
The Paul Monahan giveaway.
Paul Monahan giveaway.
I remember this week.
Last time we were giving away, well, it was during the Christmas episode.
This
wasn't it?
episode, yeah, it was. Good episode.
We were
Was
giving
a good
away
episode,
Battle Block. Actually, I was surprised. I was surprised at how good that sounded since we were recording
All
in your
drunk.
room before you set it all up.
Yeah.
And so I thought it'd be really echoey, but it was actually a decent sounding episode. Which I'm not
Yeah, I
surprised
thought-
about, obviously.
I thought it was quite amusing as well. I thought it was really funny.
What, been in my room?
No! No.
That's where,
The
that's where
episode.
magic happens.
I'm sure plenty of people have laughed while in your room. It's a bit of a weak joke. But we were giving away Battle Block Theatre and Fez because they both look good, I guess. And the winner of those two is... That was an ill
I haven't got the energy to do it. I haven't got the energy to do the noise.
Gubbins won.
Yay!
Not Gubbins. Gubbins won. Gubbins, you didn't win anything because you didn't enter. Gubbins won, though.
He's kicking himself.
At Robster_N. I always quite enjoy it when they have completely different... When people on Twitter have completely different handles from their names.
Yeah.
Because this guy is Gubbins1, but his Twitter handle is Robster_N. I'm not sure which to refer to him as, so both. So you've won Battle Block Theatre and Fez. We're going to send you those over Twitter.
Sorry, that was a big one.
Next time, we're
That's
giving
not
away...
what she said.
Yeah. Go on, you do your competition.
Thank you.
Go on, Nancy.
Next time, we're giving away Dishonored and Hotline Miami because
Blimey.
the theme of which is stabbing people in the face, I suppose.
Awesome.
Lots of stabbing people in the face in
You
both
better
those
come up with a
games.
good one to give away on episode 69.
Oh, Leisure Suit Larry, maybe.
Yeah,
Do we have a copy of that?
Yeah.
We'll
Kicking
obtain
around.
one.
Kicking around. We'll get one.
But yeah, if you want to win Dishonored and Hotline Miami, I had to reread my notes there because I'd forgotten what game I just announced. We'll be putting the details on Twitter. You can retweet those and you'll be in it to win it.
Sweet. This week we got like my end of year P45 thing, and we use this HR system at work when you're talking about people's names. When I was filling it in like 2 years ago, it was like first name Jack, last name Marshall, and then it said known as, and I thought that didn't matter, so I put Killer. And then carried on filling my details. I got my P45 through and all of my payslips, and I've not noticed that my name is Killer Marshall on all my payslips.
No!
I've got to get it all sorted because I was like, I didn't realise that would be what my name would appear at. And they were like, yeah, it's like a legal thing in case your name is not that, because you might be from another country. I was like, oh dear.
Oh,
it's
my word.
It's a big half up.
That is hilarious.
I know, look pretty stupid going to my finance team going,
You're getting the money
Block
though,
out,
right?
just block out the sum of your salary,
I think
and you need to post that on Reddit.
They were like,
that is hilarious.
they were like, it'd be easier just to change your name to Killer.
Then to get you, well, you know, you can't get all your backdated payslips changed. It's logged with HMRC now.
I've changed it, and I'm hoping it just. Yeah, I've got to phone them and sort it out on their end, and then I'm hoping I do self-assessment, so it shouldn't be too bad. But
Killer Marshall.
but anyway, we are going to be talking today about Aero Fighters, which was chosen by James, and our voiceover this week is brought to us by Jebediah Vrazzo.
Welcome, one and all, to the Retrograde Masters of the Universe. Today they're going to be talking about Aero Fighters. Alright, so Aero Fighters, known as Sonic Wings in Japan, is a vertical scrolling shoot-'em-up arcade game, originally released in 1992 by Video System and ported to the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in 1993. It was the first in the series of Aero Fighters video games. GamePro gave the Super Nintendo version a negative review, saying that the weapons are imaginative, but the game suffers from slowdown, mediocre graphics, and weak sound effects and monotonous music. Concluding, Aero Fighters action won't stay with you. It's a temporary thrill that will eventually retreat to the hangar. Alright, there you go. That's the gist. Lizanne, I'm pretty sure that you'll hate this game. Alright, so I don't have anything to promote. That's Aero Fighters.
Thanks for that, Gemini. Apologies if I said your name wrong, but there'll be a link to your YouTube channel on our website, which you can find afterwards. If you'd like to do a voiceover for our show, make sure you get in contact to us at Retrograde Show and just drop us a private message saying, I'd like to do a voiceover in that voice, and you can do one. We've got a blog to promote, a fridge to sell.
I want to do a voiceover.
If they leave a message saying, I'd like to do a voiceover, we shouldn't use them for a voiceover.
Well, no, we should, because they're obviously very skilled with their voice that they can impersonate Jack perfectly.
Oh,
no, that's just their regular voice.
Does my voice
name's
sound...
Killer Marshall.
Does my voice sound any better with a cold?
I think you sound way sexier.
Oh, thank you.
It's like Phoebe in Friends when she got a cold.
Yeah.
Which is now on US Netflix.
What, Friends?
Yeah, all 10 seasons of January the 1st, all 10 seasons of Friends is now on US Netflix, not UK Netflix though, which I don't know how I'm going to get around that.
I don't think anyone watches Friends anymore though.
Huh?
I'm not sure anyone watches Friends anymore.
It's because it's not on Netflix, that's why.
I don't think it's relevant.
I love at work now.
It's still on Comedy Central.
I love at work that I can tell people who obviously watch Netflix, because we were talking about TV shows, and it'll be like, clearly you've got Netflix because you're naming everything that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And if someone turns around and goes, have you been watching Downton Abbey? I'm like, nah, it's not on Netflix.
That's the thing, the kids at school are always really surprised when I say, yeah, I don't really watch regularly scheduled telly anymore. Well, because I'm watching Netflix.
I'm in a bed with a cold, obviously, and I managed to get out of bed today to go to my computer to put a bet on William Hill over Who Killed Lucy Bill in EastEnders.
I saw that, yeah.
Which is a soap over here in the UK. It's been going on since May, Who Killed This Girl, and I'm blatant. I'm like, I know who this is.
When are they revealing it?
Like March, May time. I think March, April time. They've been dragging it out for a year.
How much you put?
It was 8-1 on this girl. Sorry. Called Lauren Branning. 8-1, so I put a tenner on it. That's a bound win. She's obviously well guilty. No, because I did some research and the real actress in real life is pregnant. So she's going to have to disappear. Or they're going to have to work her pregnancy into the storyline. So I was like, maybe she's like, I got pregnant by her boyfriend, so I had to kill her. Something like that. I mean, I'm in the money there. But anyway, let's talk about...
When you're going to William Hill making bets on who killed someone in EastEnders, you cannot get any more British.
I also was going to put a bet on like Man U v Bolton. I was like, nah, screw it. Just Lucy Bill.
Just soaps. I only bet on soaps.
Yeah.
I don't bet on sport. I just bet on soaps.
Easy money. It's probably more likely to win. Right, what was I going to say? Anyway, yeah, we're talking about Aero Fighters, which is a game that James chose, and I texted him to say, hey, mate, why'd you choose this game? And he hasn't replied.
Classic
Well,
James.
he has a birthday for his girlfriend, so he's probably thinking about other more important things, like his girlfriend's birthday.
Yeah, it's true.
Whatever.
He's like, no, back off, I'm trying to tell you why I chose Aero Fighters.
Should we ruminate on why we think James chose this game?
Well, I think he chose it because he knew that I was going to have a cold. And to be honest, if I was to list games that you don't want to play when you've got a cold, a top-down vertical shooter where you have to have quick reactions and your eyes aren't kind of working, so it's a bit blurry, this would be the worst game you can play with a cold. Because it was so... My reaction time was like, oh, and then I'd move. I was rubbish at this game. I could not get through it.
They're called shmups. SHMUP, which stands for shoot 'em up.
Yes, but that could apply to side-scrolling or vertical.
Well, yeah, side-scrolling shmups maybe, but these are shmups.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't like these games.
No?
I've never got into top-down vertical games because of the fact that they are... We've talked before about retro games being quite punishing. I think this genre is probably the pinnacle of punishing game because it's a lot of pattern memory. I hate the way that when you build all your power-ups and then you die, you lose your power-ups go floating around the screen. Like, it punishes you for dying by saying, right, back to stage one.
Yeah.
And I've got a cold. I suck at this. Why you couldn't have picked like Banjo-Kazooie or something nice, something friendly, Pokemon Snap.
He wasn't predicting your illness, Jack.
I think he was. I think he knew it. I look at the game schedule for next year and I think he's like, Jack will be ill around May. time to put.
I actually really wanted to ask him, and I forgot
I'll pretend to be him if you
that he wasn't here. So I realised on the way down that I couldn't. Why he chose this particular shmup. Because there have been so many... I was about to say famous, but famous in the world of this genre. Famous games in this genre that he could have chosen instead. So I'm assuming he had some kind of history with this game.
I guess 1941 is probably one of the most famous top-down vertical shooters.
I've never heard of it. So
1942?
No, don't know.
I think it will. Maybe, I might have seen it, but I'm thinking of all the Japanese ones by Cave and stuff.
With the Super Nintendo,
Radius.
with the Super Nintendo pack that I got off my uncle famously, I've mentioned it so many times. Super R-Type was also in there, which,
R-Type.
although as a side scroller, is essentially the exact same game as this.
I remember playing
And I
that
never
in your
liked it.
apartment. The only difference between that and this is that had a strategic element in that you'd get the power up and then choose what you wanted it to do.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, you just get more powerful. So this is a much more classic, top-down vertical. Although having said that, vertical, usually these like if you buy a game like this on a modern console, what it'll do is it'll put sort of boxes either side of the screen with data because they're always very vertical screens. Whereas because this is ported to the SNES, I'm guessing they made it horizontal. Maybe it was already.
I found the frame rate on the SNES was pretty bad, to be honest. It was a bit it was a bit choppy. I didn't really get along with it, so I played the arcade version. It was a bit better.
Yeah, it was reported as having the reviews weren't so great because they said it had bad frame rates.
Yeah.
But it was originally an arcade game, so porting it to the SNES couldn't have been easy.
And
it works really well as an arcade game, obviously, because it's all about staying in for as long as you can. If you lose it all, then you go back to the very start, which obviously you want for an arcade game. But as a game to play at home, when it's free play, it's very easy just to put it down and be like, can't be bothered.
I immediately went to the options and put the lives up to 5. And the continues up to 5. As high as they would go, because I'm terrible at these as well.
Yeah. No, I know. I don't really have anything more. But, I do... There are... excuse me. But this genre of games, though, is also one of the ones that, fans of it have gone, ape over it. Because, you can still see occasionally now, someone's released a Dreamcast game, and it's often a vertical top-down shooter. And it'll be one of these ones where there are, millions of bullets on screen, and you're just basically remembering a path.
Bullet Hell.
Yeah.
Is that Bullet Hell? Is that
they're called Bullet Hell shooters. I mean, this is not so much, but a lot of the famous Japanese ones, the screen's just filled with bullets. So that's why I call Bullet Hell, because you're in a hell made of bullets. But they're really popular in Japan, I think, because it takes so much dedication to get good at them, just because you have to memorize a path, like you said. It's not about skill so much as memorization. So it's like rote playing.
But you said on the show that you like big guns and explosions, and this is quite constant, whoa. This is like Metal Slug.
I've always tried to be interested in shoot 'em ups just because they're essentially style over substance, which is something I really enjoy in games. When it's very stylish, and I don't care what's happening on screen, but as long as... No, I don't care what's happening with regards to the gameplay, but as long as there's huge explosions and laser beams
I don't care what's happening on screen, just as long as I'm playing it.
I do care what's on screen. I don't care what's sort of beneath the screen, if you will. So as long as it's gigantic explosions and laser beams, I really enjoy that, and the Japanese are so fantastic at it, and this is a good example, although there are better examples in more famous games like the cave shoot-em-ups, Dodonpachi and things. They've all got strange names. But they're all ridiculous, and I really enjoy watching them. I just cannot play them. They're so difficult.
I had one on the SNES called Super Swiv, which was it was a bit weird. It was a different one because there was a tank on the floor and then a plane in the air. So each level had kind of two approaches where you could either be the tank on the floor shooting the ground units or the plane in the air shooting the sky units. And it was nice. It was a bit novel, but it got a bit confusing. Be like, who's shooting that one? It was a bit weird, but I like it. It was good. Contra as well. No, what was the top? Not Contra. What was the top down shoot 'em up where you were two guys walking through a maze, walking just very Rambo style, but it was top down.
Goof Troop.
Oh, was it like Mercenaries or something?
Yeah,
It was when you were in the jungle, right?
Yeah, it was it's not Goof Troop. I wish it was Goof Troop.
No, Goof Troop is the one with the sliding statue puzzle that defeats everyone who comes near.
I'll tell you what, I could have played that with
It's another top-down one.
I could have played that easily. I'm just quickly Googling to see if I can find out, because I should stop just naming games and then going, oh, well, because then everyone goes...
I don't know what it's called.
I liked how they tried to make the ground backgrounds quite realistic, quite accurate to the areas they were portraying. Going over New York, for example, that was quite cool.
Ikari Warriors was the game I was thinking of. Sorry, Ikari Warriors.
Yeah, you're right. This is a game that focuses a lot on like the areas of the world that you go to.
Yeah.
Which is quite an interesting approach, and it's similar to one thing it reminds me of is Street Fighter. Because in that you choose someone and they're from a country and it tells you what country they're from, and then it shows you flying to another country to fight someone else. And in this game I chose the British guy, obviously.
You don't do that in games much anymore, do you really?
What?
Choose like a character based on their nationality.
Yeah, and then it changes like the way you go through the game as well.
Yeah.
That was something very interesting they used to do with games. I don't know why. I don't know what was the international appeal of that sort of thing. Because nowadays, in this sort of game especially, you just choose a character, then go through the same levels over and over again.
I never like the online stuff for Call of Duty. That shows what nationality you are, doesn't it? And then you can choose.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it shows
and you can choose who to play with.
Yeah,
is that right?
Well, basically,
So
you
I
go
think
through a
that's
set
you're checking
number
your
of...
own nationality for that one. You're saying, I'm British, and I'm going to attack everyone.
Well, in the Call of Duty campaigns, you're playing different people of different nationalities, and they're very careful to point that out. Like one time you're a Russian guy, and the next time you're a British guy. And that's all in the same game, but it's the same path. Online, I mean, I'm guessing you probably could choose which army you belong to, but I'm not sure anyone pays attention to that sort of thing.
Right.
But in this, I chose the British guy, and then it was like it reminded me of Super Mario because he's going around all these places shooting everyone. And then he gets to the headquarters, he's like, she's not here. And then she goes somewhere else, and he kills everyone again, and he gets to the headquarters, he's like, where is she? And it's like he's looking for the princess. He shouldn't actually be a princess, because he looks like a prince. He's got a huge nose. And he keeps turning up to places and be like, where even is the headquarters of the enemy?
Yeah.
He just sounds like an idiot by halfway through. Like, he cannot find anyone, but he's killing everyone on the way just to find them.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what the story was, but it wasn't very well...
and I never send... The enemies are pretty stupid in these games. Well, just send a boss in. If I was one of these helicopters, I'd be like, that guy's firing 8 lasers. I've got a pistol. Send the boss in first.
Especially the ones that fly at you, then just turn away and fly back.
Yeah.
There's no bullets.
They're very loyal, the enemies, aren't they, in this? They're like, well, I've got to do it. The guy might be shooting lasers and dropping homing bombs out of his butt, but I'm going to go for it.
Out of his butt. They just fly towards you and fly away again like they're faking you out. Like, yeah, let's play chicken with him. Oh, he's got lasers.
And they never sneak up from him from behind. Classic.
No, they should. They always
They
come
should
from the
do.
front.
That'd work. Yeah.
Approach him from the front only.
Yeah. Do not go sideways at him.
And all the people that
Full
play...
onslaught, face forward.
All these pilots have been training for like 6 years to become pilots. Like, what are you talking... Well, go from behind. It's like, no, go from the front and fly him and then fly away again. Don't shoot. It's like, what are you talking about?
Even better, carry these power-ups that when you explode, you'll drop it. It's like, brilliant. Can I use the power-up? No. No, that's for the German guy that's in the plane.
Is there a German guy?
I don't know. I think it's a Japanese, it's a German. Do you want me to say the names of the people that are in the game? So you've got United States, you've got Blaster Keaton, sorry.
Oh, nice.
Who's in an F-818 Hornet. And player 2 is called Keith Bishop, who's in an F-14 Tomcat. Japanese guy's called Hein, who's in FSX, don't know if he's real planes or not. And then player 2 is Mao Mao, who's in F-15 Eagle. The Swedish guy is called Kolhu the Viking.
Nice.
And the second player guy is called TB10. And then finally, the United Kingdom guy is called Lord River N. White. And player 2 is William Side Pride. William Sid Pride, I think that's meant to be.
I think that's who I got, is William Sid Pride. But why are they so posh? Like, and what is he actually
Because
looking
we're
for a
British.
princess?
Lord River N. White. Like a lord be flying in on those planes.
You wouldn't get it. You'd get some guy without a lord in front of his name to fly.
Archie Tittle. Something like that. That'd be a better name. That's what I would have gone for.
But I don't know. It's interesting to think about what draws you in for this kind of game and keeps you playing. I guess it's just the challenge, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like in those racing games that you used to get, where you had to get to the next marker within a certain
Like Outrun.
time space. I don't remember any names or anything.
Outrun's probably the most famous example of that.
But yeah, so you're driving through, you got 30 seconds, and you got to get to the next shot, you get to, then you get the time boost, and that's the addictive side of it, is that it's very short, quick rewards. Because with this, it's a lot of rewards very, very quickly.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed
it's punishing when you do it wrong, but you're killing so many ships so quickly and so frenetically. Like it is rewarding in that way. It keeps your brain really, really stimulated, which is very easy to be addicted to.
Would you say it blasts happiness at your face?
I would if this game brought me happiness. However, it just blasted misery and sorrow all over my being. So yeah.
I love when one lowly little bullet hits you, and all the enemies must go, yes! Well done, Tom. That incredibly slow firing bullet you fired hit him. And then he comes back again, just like, and then it's like, he's flashing, he's invulnerable. It's really weird.
They haven't got any targeting computers, obviously, even though these planes are all high-tech futuristic.
Yeah.
Your plane fires only missiles that go straight ahead, and their planes only fire big round bullets you can avoid easily.
Yeah.
It's true.
Watch out for those oranges.
Another problem with this kind of genre of game is that I can't really think of any kind of modern evolution of this game, apart from just adding on really HD graphics of it. Like, it's always got to be... I can't imagine, apart from something like Lilac Wars, like a third... I guess just something like what are recent ones, like third person, like Elite Dangerous and stuff like that. But even those aren't really this game. You couldn't do this in 3D because it'd just be mental.
A lot of what you get now, and most of this is happening in the indie scene, because first of all, there's a lot of 2D shoot-em-ups indie games, because obviously they don't care about being 3D or whatever. And James and I played through, ironically enough, Jamestown, and that's a modern indie shoot-em-up, and it's set on Mars, and you're like two colonists killing all the Martians. And it's a really great game, and it's built for co-op, and it's pretty brutal, but it's fun to play, and it's very I was about to say characteristic, but it's very charismatic.
Characteristic.
And so there's a lot of indie shoot-em-ups coming out that people are getting really excited about, because I think it's easy to make this sort of game, at least the engine, and then the rest is just the style, which is why people buy them in the first place.
It's one of the common, like, when you see those game engines online, where it's like, build your own game in 15 minutes. This is like one of the common sort of genres that come up. That it's like, stick a plane, draw your plane, just draw the plane, and it starts shooting you, and that's it.
But the other thing I was going to say is that also in the indie scene, there's a lot of games that come out recently that they're basically... And it was the same with Doom, actually. I guess that started the whole trend. But they're basically first-person shooters where enemies are shooting at you, but their bullets move slowly. So it's about avoiding their bullets more than about how you shoot, whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of games like that. Tower of Guns is one of them. And so it's sort of procedurally generated, but you're specifically avoiding everyone's bullets, and that's basically the main mechanic. So I guess that's what came of this. Anyway, we've talked about text adventures and how they turned into like RPGs.
Yeah.
And you always see these sort of genre-defining mechanics get shifted across into other genres. So I think this just became first-person shooters of a certain type.
Well, the big bomb power-ups in these games, I don't know what came first, but they kind of became in like side-scrolling beat-em-ups. They came like the special moves.
Yeah,
where you're given
like
you're given like a get out of jail free card with these bombs, or with special moves in beat-em-ups that take off a bit of health. So you're given this kind of weird responsibility of use it when you need it. Don't go nuts.
Like once it's all gone Pete Tong, you can hit the button and it all saves you. But I think that's just a Japanese thing, because all of those, most of those side-scrolling beat-em-ups are obviously Japanese as well. So I think they just like power-ups and final moves that you never expect. It's like Dragon Ball Z. They're always powering up.
I'd like to see a game that's like this, but it's like Tower Defense or something, where you're the one who's sending the enemies out. So you're just like throwing the ships out. It's like, go get him.
The thing is, you're sitting there with this massive arsenal of thousands and thousands of these giant helicopters, and this one dude's coming along in this tiny little purple ship. You're like, I will get you.
Yeah. And do his lasers just travel forever? So the boss is right at the end going, ow, ow, ow. Where are these lasers coming from? Ow.
That happens in Super R-Type as well.
Yeah, they just keep travelling.
Yeah.
Like Bowser's fireballs. It's like, ow.
I mean, you'd think they would get less helicopters and just train the pilots better. Because I think the only reason this guy's so good is because he's trained really well. You know, he's one of the best in the world, Top Gun, as it were. But these other helicopters, they can obviously fly because they're doing some pretty sweet manoeuvres. But they can't hit.
And they're very choreographed as well. Sometimes they come in a line and then they sweep out together in a line. They've been working on this for years.
But their hulls must be paper thin because, well, actually, no, he can only get hit by one bullet as well, the main character. So I guess they've all got paper thin hulls. But put some armour on some of these helicopters, he'd be screwed.
Do we think these kind of games evolved from Space Invaders?
I mean, yeah, that must be the first.
Yeah, I guess it makes a logical kind of evolution from those.
Because essentially that is a shoot 'em up, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Space Invaders, you've got a fixed plane at the bottom, you're moving around, and the enemies are moving slowly. But after that came, I think it was Galaxian or Galaga.
Galaxian was the one I was going to say.
I think it's Galaxian, yeah, and that's Space Invaders. Essentially, at certain points, the ships break off and fly towards you, and that's very similar to this in concept. So I think that's the natural evolution. So it's strange to think that they took a game like Space Invaders and then Galaxian, if I'm right, and made it into games like this because it's just worlds apart in terms of not the mechanics, but just how it looks, you know.
Yeah.
So it would have been hard to imagine playing that then and imagining this 20 years later. And
Defender was another one I was going to mention.
Defender.
It's kind of a side-scrolling shoot 'em up as well. There was kind of back in the old days of arcade games. It was like bloop bloop bloop. There was one where you're riding on a camel or whatever it was. That was a good one. No, you're riding on like an ostrich.
An ostrich.
Gotta stop doing this.
What?
There's a game I can't
Dog on
remember.
Country, you ride on an ostrich.
I'm getting my games mixed up with countries again. Joust, that was it. That's just a platformer.
Are you
Just thought
riding
I'd
on an
mention
ostrich the
it.
entire game through?
Sorry?
Are you riding on an ostrich the entire game through?
Yeah, you ride on an ostrich.
Wait, is that even a shoot 'em
Why?
up?
No, it's just a platformer.
You just look up a game.
I thought it was fun to mention it. There's not enough games where you ride on ostriches, to be
That's
honest.
hilarious.
Final Fantasy got it nearly right.
I think there might be an ostrich in the Metal Slug games at some point. I know there's a camel.
Yes, there is. Yeah, Metal Slug 3, you ride on an ostrich. Well
you? I can't remember.
remembered. 5 points to Anthony. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Wait,
the
what?
Japanese
Have
always
we,
put in.
are we meant to be
What's the
playing
nearest?
for points for the
Here we go.
last
This,
2.5 years?
this is what made me laugh though. What's the nearest bird in Pokemon that's like an ostrich? I know there's one that's got 2 heads.
Doduo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the nearest one that's near an ostrich.
So you can use. There aren't enough ostriches in games at all, really. And they're such iconic animals. You'd think they'd put more in.
And they're fast as well.
And giraffes.
And they could break an arm.
That's swans. You're thinking of
I was
swans.
thinking of swans again.
Single flap of their wing.
You're not allowed to put swans in video games because obviously they're owned by the Queen. True story.
Only she's allowed to eat
What
them.
about Swanna?
True story.
That's a pretty awesome Pokemon.
Is he a swan?
Yes, that's why it's called Swanna.
Lazy Pokemon artist.
I thought he was a
Just
duck.
Nicking
He
our
starts
animals.
off as duck.
Oh. Well, that's a bit... Oh, he's an
then
ugly
evolves in-
duckling and turns into a swan.
Yeah.
They're drawing from some classic stories in that.
Yeah.
I was a bit gutted I didn't get to play this 2-player. Like I said, I've been in a bit of a cold, so...
Yeah, I think that's part of the... Because Jamestown playing Jamestown, a game like that, a modern shoot 'em up on your own, is not as fun as playing it, the two of you, obviously, because you're sort of sharing the challenge, whereas playing a game that's challenging on your own, you haven't got that sense of community. It's just a little bit frustrating. And if you fail, it's sort of funny, because, it's frustrating as well. So I think the fact that they're all 2-player is pretty welcome, but you have to find someone who's willing to go through the hell with you.
Yeah, I've never found these kind of games that appealing.
Does Neil like them?
I honestly don't know.
Did he not?
honestly don't
did
know.
you mention it to him at any point? He was like, "Oh,
Oh,
that sounds good."
do a bit of cocaine.
No.
Do a bit of cocaine, some ecstasy. Oh, this game would be off the hook. Turn the lights off, full screen, just go. Oh! It'd be like Limitless.
No,
That's-
Neil finds gaming. He loses interest quite quickly with games these days. He thinks it's because he
Don't
spent
we
so
all?
long making video games that
Yeah.
they don't hold his interest that long, and so a game like this wouldn't hold his interest for very long at all because, in essence, the gameplay is very samey.
Oh yeah.
Here I am in my ship, pew 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 pew. Oh, I've killed everyone, brilliant.
That's exactly how it is.
think it's
Actually.
just-
And that's
yeah.
all. And that's all it is.
That's exactly how it is in the army. Pilots are always saying, not in the army, the Air Force. Pilots are always saying that.
I've always said it'd be great if there was a bit in a game, like especially this one when you shoot down a helicopter, it just suddenly quickly flashes to like his wife, like in that bit in Monty Python, Austin Powers, where like his wife gets a phone call and he's like, "Oh my god, Johnny was shot down in combat. He's not coming home." Then just cuts straight back to gameplay. You're
Yeah.
like, "Oh man."
You just killed like 1,000 people. So.
There should be like a civilian jet flying over. It's like, don't shoot the civilian jet. It's like, oh.
That's pretty common in games like Time Crisis. There's always civilians and you shoot
There's
them
always
and
someone
you
who
lose a life.
stands up and goes, "Don't shoot me." So House of the Dead as well. They do it all the time. Just pop out of a drawer right across it.
Why do you lose a life for shooting a civilian? It's collateral damage. If they sent you in, a top government operative, they know that someone's going to die that shouldn't at some point.
Yeah, and
They
no one's
shouldn't take a
gonna
life.
know. They'll be like, "What happened there?" Zombie got a gun, shot her in the face, didn't he? They're getting smart.
There's your bullet. Yeah, he took my gun from me while I was sleeping.
We've matched it to your gun. It's like,
The zombie grabbed the bullet and threw it at the woman instead. Because they can't feel pain, they can do that sort of thing.
yeah.
But
I hate that.
what the weird thing is, shoot 'em ups are one of the, obviously Japanese games are a bit nuts anyway. Like they go
No.
they go a bit zany, but shoot 'em ups are one of the things that really go zany. Like just don't even care anymore. Like right now we're seeing a giant monkey in a machine.
This is the sequel, by the way. I've accidentally put the sequel on TV.
Oh, okay.
So this is the sequel to Aero Fighters, Aero Fighters 2, where he fights a giant monkey for some reason.
Well, there's all sorts of bosses in there. It's one of them happens to be a
Yeah.
giant monkey in a machine, a bit Dr. Robotnik-esque, except not human. But you get there's Japanese shoot-ups that just don't have planes all together and just have humans flying along because they're magic, and they're still shooting laser beams. I don't know where from because there's no laser beams there's no cannons on them that could.
Yeah.
So they're just shooting magical lasers at things, and they're still shooting like planes and stuff. They're just a human with a cape.
Did I guess I can say, did I tell you the game I got Mark for Christmas? Mark's old friend of the show.
Oh, no, you didn't. Go on.
I got him Japan World Cup 3 on DVD. It's a DVD game. It's that one of, listeners, if you've not seen it, go and pause the show, go on YouTube and look up Japan World Cup 3. It's the one where you have the horses racing, but the horses start turning into like giant elephants and a panda and a tortoise, and they just start exploding and things start going mental, and it's like a betting game. And it is brilliant.
What did he get you?
He didn't get me anything.
I thought he did.
Oh.
Every year we do the get each other a terrible game. Nothing from Mark.
Oh.
So really, every year you just
I'll
get
put
Mark
it
a terrible game and he doesn't do anything.
He doesn't do anything.
He got you Tomb Raider last year.
He did it one year. He got me Tomb Raider. I was like, I think you forgot. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot it's meant to be a terrible game. I was like, that's the one rule. But this year he's forgotten the other rule, which is to buy a game. Next year he'll forget the rule and it's Christmas.
You mean the other of the one rules?
Yeah,
that you
there's
just
only 2
mentioned?
rules.
That's the one rule. He forgot the other rule as well.
Well, the third rule with and you give it to Jack. That's the rule.
There's a lot of rules to this game now that you mention it.
He gave it to himself. Terrible.
But no, one thing I was going to say is, even though there's not, like, if you're not interested in shoot 'em ups, there's not exactly a lot to like, because the mechanics are obviously very simple, and I mean the graphics I think are great, and the style and everything, but it is, as I said before, style over substance, so it's more that you're watching it.
Reaction speed is obviously one of the crucial things, and some people get a real kick out of being like quick reactions.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of close miss. I mean, some games, shoot 'em ups, reward near misses because if the bullets graze you, then you get more points.
Like I'd almost relate this a little bit to pinball.
Yeah, yeah.
I think if you enjoyed
pinball's very
pinball,
flashy as well.
Yeah, if you enjoyed
Simple
pinball,
mechanics.
I think you'd enjoy this.
But even though, like, that being said, there is that element of your enjoyment there. If you don't enjoy it, obviously you're not going to stick around with it. But I also think, on the flip side of that, there's not a lot to hate about it. Like, just because they're so simple, there's very few things about this sort of game that you can be like, no, that's poorly designed. Or,
That's true, yeah.
so they're sort of just mindless, you know? It's like
Yeah.
casual games on a phone these days. Obviously, they're less involved than this. There's not much to hate about them usually. They're just
One of the kind of, when I've read a few game design articles on the past, you know, one of the kind of golden rules of game design that a lot of game designers try to strive for is this kind of rule of easy to pick up but hard to master.
Yeah.
And I think these games would fall into that quite big, but the problem
Definitely.
is it's too hard to master. It's very easy to pick up and it's incredibly hard. Like the difficulty learning curve is just like, whoa.
It's because
You can ski down it.
I think it's the same. I think it's the same as you just remind me of that game. You know, we used to that it went nuts on the internet a while ago, where you draw a line,
Line
and the
Rider.
guy would
Line Rider. It's one of those ones
Whatever
you now
happened to that?
It's one of those ones you now see in like arcades where they've made an arcade game out of it, like Fruit Ninja or Doodle Jump. There's arcade machines down.
I remember
Brighton
seeing the
now
like
from,
4-player
Yeah.
Candy Crush machine at the Brighton Pier.
There's a Candy Crush machine down there now. Doesn't surprise me. I was watching over Christmas, watching like massive films like Beethoven on Boxing Day or whatever, and between the adverts there's like Clash of Clans.
Yeah.
Like, when did these little iOS games start advertising on like mainstream
Yeah.
ITV?
Well, there's obviously a lot of money in it, so.
They make a hell of a lot of money. A lot of money.
But it's always short term, isn't it? They make a lot of money for 6 months and then no
Well,
money
yeah,
ever
it's
again.
the freemium
It's short,
concept. Did
it's
you watch the
short-term-
South Park episode about freemium?
Yeah, a little bit.
Where
I
all the
saw
money
it.
went to Canada.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. That explained Nick, because obviously Neil's industry is very much freemium is the thing now, and so
Yeah.
Those
it's
South Park
very
guys are always
pertinent.
pointing out things
Always
about
got their
people.
money on the pulse. Always got their money on the pulse, haven't they?
Well, they have got their money on the pulse
Yeah.
because they're putting the money on it. They're not just.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get this with I was saying about casual games. I can't remember what I was saying.
The iOS games they make loads of money for 6 months, and then you never hear of them again. There's loads of them. They're around.
You were saying you want to buy me a sandwich. What do you
Oh
want me
yeah,
a
that's it. I want to buy
sandwich?
you a sandwich.
No,
I felt like I had the end to the point, but I've now completely forgotten it, so we can move on.
brilliant. We'll come back to that another time in a different episode, 4 episodes time. Oh, I remember what I want to say about.
Guys, yep, just came to me.
So Aero Fighters. Oh, I'm too ill for this. Ugh.
The point was, it's not too bad, is it? And that's it.
Yeah, the point was, yeah, it's good. So many of these episodes I've just gone, yeah, it's good. Well, I had no trivia on this game because it wasn't really much of a trivia-filled game.
When did this game come out?
1992, it was released on SNES in 1993. Emulated version was released on PlayStation 2 in Japan only in 2005 as part of the Oritachi Gayason Soko Sono series. And if you can hear Anthony laughing, that's because in Aero Fighters 2, here's a bit of a trivia, one of the characters you could play is a dolphin.
The dolphin was in a plane with a pilot's hat on, and he was like, I've just saved the entire ocean from destruction or something, and then it's him jumping out of the water, doing like a little flip, with a sunset in the background, and it says, I'm so glad I was born a dolphin. Which is not something a dolphin has ever said ever. Not because they're not glad, because they wouldn't think like that.
I think they're probably aware.
I don't ever think I'm so glad I was born a human.
Thank God I'm a dolphin.
Considering
Don't
that.
you? I do.
Well, I don't
I'd
consider...
rather this than a slug.
Yeah.
No, because we couldn't have been born a slug.
Don't know.
Why?
Like, you could...
Do you not believe in reincarnation?
My mum was on some weird drugs in the 70s.
Oh, we're giving birth to a slug again.
Oh no, another herd of slugs.
Tell you what, the way my nose is going, I might as well be a slug.
Oh.
Oh, dear. Let's go
Is
into
that
the...
because you crawl on the ground and leave a trail?
Yeah. Everyone knows where I've been.
Slimy Jack Marshall, that's what they call
Slimy
him.
Jack
It's
Marshall.
just because he can't walk. He's so weak. He's like, he just crawls along the corridor.
Killer Marshall.
Killer Marshall. We should go into the retrograde part of the show. And James, oh God, tell you what, I did something the other day at work. I turned against it. I snorted up my left nostril. It's a big old lovely.
no.
And honestly, I think I burst like a tumour in my brain or something. My top of my eyelid is killing me. Like, it's so much pain. It's like, I'm milking this cold for everything it's worth, tell you that.
Have you taken any meds?
I took some cold and flu tablets, and I never take medication when I'm ill. I just like power through it. I just sit in my bed going, "Let's go!"
No. Just dose up.
I think
Seriously.
it will just make me like immune.
No, it doesn't.
I want to take paracetamol when it's really bad. Like if I get shot one day, I'll be like, "Give me some paracetamol," and they'll be like, "My God, this has healed him completely." I was like, "That's because I never take paracetamol."
No,
That's the rule.
That's not how they work.
It is. That's exactly how it works. Like rats. Rats are now immune to rat poison. That's what I don't want to happen. I don't want to become immune.
But that's
to
completely different. That's
One
chemistry,
day,
it's different.
One day, so I took some cold and flu tablets. Did do nothing.
How
Don't
many
know what
did you
happened.
take?
Maybe I was accidentally sneaking them into a cereal or something. And I
How
didn't
many
know.
did you take?
2 in the morning and 2 in the evening.
Right, well, you need to be taking them every 4 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Get some of those ultra strength ones as well.
And ideally, you need to be alternating between paracetamol and ibuprofen every 2 hours.
Nah, not worth
Yeah,
it.
no, seriously.
All right, maybe I'll
dose
pop
yourself
to
up.
the shop and just have like a wild time tonight.
Let's go on a little retrograde field trip after this and buy some drugs for Jack.
Yeah.
Yay!
I need to go to Co-op anyway, so I can make sure you get there and back safely.
Oh, I'll get back safely, don't worry.
We can carry.
I'm not going to take them in the shop and they'll be like, whoa.
It's not Cody. You'll be fine.
Ibuprofen.
But you've never taken it before.
Off the hook.
It'll hit you like a
Yeah, because it'll
hammer.
hit me so hard. 'cause I've
It'll be
never taken
good.
it.
It'll be good, Jack.
My body will go, whoa, this is like heroin for me.
That's what I often wonder, if I drank alcohol, would it have a
Yeah,
proportionally
alcohol's the same.
large-
If you never drink alcohol and you have 1 pint, it will make you hungover because your liver's like, what
No,
is this?
it's
I don't know how to
different.
dilute this.
It's different. Anthony wouldn't get hungover because his liver is new. Our livers have been poisoned by years of alcohol abuse, and therefore we get hungover.
It's the difference. It's different because
What are you
wait,
on about? That's how it works.
wait, you're proving my point because I was going to say like a person who runs all the time. No, it proves my point. A person who's running all the time, you put him in a race, he'll run really well. Fat guy who's never run, he's
That's
not going to run very well.
how it works. That's not how it works.
Exactly
It's not the
how it
same
works.
thing. I was just
So
imagining.
like, if we drink alcohol, we're like, we're seasoned professionals.
No, yeah,
Anthony
okay,
will be like,
so
"Woo."
yeah, we will be able to consume more alcohol than Anthony will. We will. However, he will not be hungover because his liver is still new and is able to process and clean that alcohol out of his system a lot more
You should
effectively and efficiently
you should
than
start
us.
drinking. That'd be awesome. You'd like have a whole bottle of scotch on a night
I can't
out.
imagine drunk Anthony. The idea terrifies me.
I was just imagining my liver being new. It's never been used before, and it's in my body, looking up and be like, "Oi, give me something to do." I'm like, "Nope."
Yeah,
Keeping you
your liver's-
clean.
Your liver's being well lazy.
I'm
A liver is designed for alcohol.
No, his liver is prime. When we become proper alcoholics when we're old and we need a new liver, we'll be going to Anthony. Anthony, you know your beautiful new liver you've got.
gonna sell it. It's gonna be worth so much.
Completely.
Well, it grows back. You can sell.
Yeah,
half of
it's
it,
the only
it'll grow
organ.
back.
It's the only organ that completely reheals itself, isn't
It
it?
doesn't reheal.
Yeah.
It regenerates. If there's half of it left, it'll regrow.
That's incredible. Give me half your liver. Give me half your liver.
You don't need it yet.
I'll just swallow it. Then I'll go down. Like, right, down the pub.
With some Chianti.
What's your opinion on? God, we're getting some hard topics now. What's your opinion on people who like get a liver transplant and then carry on drinking?
No, they shouldn't deserve it.
Shouldn't get the liver once
No.
only. Should get a second liver.
No, they should
I think
never
it's
get a second. If they
3
continue drinking after they've had a liver transplant,
Oh,
they
that's
no.
a bit harsh.
I think
Same
it's
with
3
lungs
strikes.
and smoking.
Oh, if you get another set of lungs and carry on smoking, you shouldn't get a set of lungs.
of course.
3 strikes and you're out, I think. 3 livers. If you ruin the 3rd liver, no, you're done.
Not even just liver, just organs.
You put a black X on their hand and go, no more livers for
right.
you.
What do you
It's
have?
like if-
You've had a heart, you've had a lung, no, you're done now. No pancreas for you.
No, you put a black X on their hand, you're like, no, you're done, you're out.
You're out there.
You're cut off from livers.
So harsh. Oh, poor
Well,
guy.
no, but if having to have one of your major organs replaced isn't enough of a wake-up call for you to change your lifestyle and you're determined just to keep going, then fair play. Keep going, kill yourself, that's fine.
Someone said to me,
Other people shouldn't have to die so you can keep smoking.
if someone said to me, playing video games all your life has given you eye cancer, will give you some new eyes, but you've got to stop playing video games, I'd probably sneak in a couple of video games.
Well, yeah, but that's different.
You'd find me in a corner of the room.
You wouldn't
My
do
parents
it.
walk in and goes, no, Jack, put the 3DS down. I'm like, I need it. But your eye cancer.
Think about your eye cancer, Jack.
Well, you don't have eye cancer anymore. It's the
But
point you
again,
pay
in
replace.
which case,
I'd risk one eye.
You just shut one eye.
Just shut one eye.
The 3D.
3DS,
Three doesn't work.
3DS wouldn't work anymore. I'd do that, then they'd announce a 3DS. I'd be like, God damn it.
I can't find this hidden star.
Oh, brilliant. But yeah, let's get into the retrograde part of the show. James chose the game, so I don't know what I'm going to do. So shall I just say, compare it to things that James would probably say?
What would James pick for this?
Just a word that sums up this game and James.
Ooh.
Types of Scotland.
I would say complicated.
But it's not, though. It's quite a simple game.
Because it's I think it's hard to master, like James. I've been trying to master him for years. He's not having none of it.
I've got one already.
You've got one of it. Well, yeah, I'm going to go for.
I have no idea what I'm going to say.
I'm going to go for complicated. Like James, this game is complicated, as in it's hard to master. You've got to learn the patterns.
Yeah.
You've got to fly around. You've got to shoot the enemies. It's
Like
complicated,
James.
like James. That's my answer.
My answer is visually dazzling. Because this game looks good and James looks good.
He always
which
looks good,
listeners
doesn't he?
probably won't know. But
He's a strapping fellow.
yeah, he's a Scottish man as well, so he's got the accent.
Yeah.
We should just grade James.
He could play a Scottish Viking.
Just rate James.
Can we
Oh no, he'll
record-
be really upset. He won't like that.
Can we record an episode of James O'Grade after this? And just,
James O'Grade, where we just review James.
just talk about James for an hour.
I find the gameplay is not very deep. I'm never allowed to play, especially not in co-op. Go on, Azam.
I cannot think of how I can link this game to James because where this game is incredibly simple and superficial, James.
Oh, superficial, good one.
I think superficial.
James,
That's a good one.
James,
Good one, yeah.
You just said a good one, Azam.
James is very, very deep. You know, he's like an ocean. The depth of James will never be known by anyone because he's so insular. There's so much pain.
Well, no, you said the depth of James like an ocean. You can compare it to the dolphin you can play in Aero Fighters 2.
Oh, there we go. James is a dolphin. There we go.
Some other
Not sure
words.
that's how it works, but yeah.
If listeners want to play as well, don't forget to tweet us what you would grade this game as if it was James comparing it to. Some words you could use would be annoying, bothersome, short-lived. That's a terrible one. That's a horrible one.
No, that's only
Right,
'cause
I
he's
just
Scottish.
wanna say-
If I get my way, yeah.
I love this idea of getting the listeners to tweet in how they would grade the game as well. I think we should start off the next episode with what they say.
Okay, well, you've got to grade.
That would be great.
You've got to grade the game and what you think of James. At Retrograde Show, we can also enter the competition.
La competition.
Which Anthony will be putting a tweet out. I mean, we'll be putting a tweet out for. Oh, almost showed the man behind the curtain. I watched Wizard of Oz for the first time the other day, which was a bit of a surprise. And
The proper Judy Garland one?
Yeah, and I got really annoyed because they clearly spray painted a bunch of horses.
Well, yeah.
There's a bit when they meet the wizard and the horses are all different colours. Like, they've clearly just painted a horse red.
Yeah, they did. They dyed them.
Unbelievable. Are they still alive, those horses? Just wandering around like a rainbow?
Well, okay, the film was made in the 1930s.
How long was
Do
the
you
horse in
think
for?
About 20, 30 years.
I feel like 70 years old horses.
Wait, what? Why does the horse get painted red?
Because
Because it's meant to be like fantastical.
because they have horses of all the colours that live in Oz. They're not just green.
I'm so sorry, listeners. Someone's going to catch my cold through this podcast. I've
Well,
coughed
thank
so
God
much
we've
into
got
the
new
mic.
spit guards.
Wait, no,
Yeah.
if they wanted multicoloured horses, how else would they have done it other than spray painting them?
Not had multicoloured horses or found a red horse.
Not have multicoloured horses is not a solution to having multicoloured horses.
Just use a horse. Anywho. Just like pretend, just have a little thing that says pretend it's red.
And people say you have
Or
no
just go,
imagination, Jack.
the horses are different colour, but only people who are here can see them. Just have the whole film based in a warehouse. It was like, only if you're in the Wizard of Oz can you see all this rubbish.
It's just Judy Garland walking around going, "This is amazing."
Yeah.
It's like, what's amazing? It's a warehouse.
The Tin Man's just
Wasn't
like a
that-
mop and bucket on wheels that she's wheeling around.
Wasn't that the
Brilliant.
premise behind Return to Oz? Is that Dorothy's actually insane and the whole thing happened in a mental asylum?
I'd buy it. I know Alice in Wonderland.
No, Return to Oz. That's what they did.
Really?
It was terrifying. Yeah, I
Right.
hated it.
I just want to
Then
say,
she went back. Oh, it was awful.
where the story in Aero Fighters 1 was not much to talk about because it was just little Street Fighter-esque clips, is going through all of the clips here on this screen, which is Aero Fighters 2. And one plane has just started crashing, and the dolphin's gone, "Don't worry." And then a whale has come out of the sea and blown water out of its spout and caught the plane. And then the dolphin or someone else says, "Great, we can always count on whales." I don't understand.
I think I saw that in a David Attenborough special.
I don't understand how the story of this game got so awesome after the first one was a bit lacking.
Well, it's because by the second one they just went, let's just go mental.
It's the Japanese for you.
I think any game developer just goes, second one, go nuts, like Tomb Raider. Right, yeah. Thank you for listening. You can find all information and all links regarding this podcast, as well as all our other sister podcasts at psychon.net. So make sure to check it out. And just a reminder that Retrograde podcast, blimey, is hosted on the Psychon network. So head over to psychon.tv, CSICON.tv, to become a patron for our show and support the network. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a game that I chose called The Last Express.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting one.
What is it?
It's I will go into it in the show, but it's one of those games that there's a lot of games that people go, oh, it's a cult classic, like Psychonauts and Grim Fandango, and it's like, well, they're not really cult classic. The Last Express is genuinely a cult classic. Like, it is a very unheard of game that when people who have played it loved it.
Is it about trains?
It's a point and click adventure game, as far as I know, about a murder on a train.
Oh, cool.
And it's meant to be very good, and I've always wanted to play it.
But the graphics are weird 3D.
Yeah.
Like
But I'm
Oh, that does sound good.
very pumped to play it, and listeners, you should be as well. Get pumped. So yeah, that's goodbye from me, Jack Marshall. Goodbye from Anthony Hobday.
Goodbye.
And a goodbye from Lizanne Fisher.
Bye.
And
Scottish mumbling.
And a goodbye from James McFadden.
Dark.
Watch
deep.
Black Mirror, it's really good.
Question your reality.